Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to the place to be each and every Sunday night. Where tonight on Top Split TV, we're bringing you round two of season 24, Sunday Night Lights from Sonoma. And tonight, very special guest on the show with me. I'm Alex McKellar, of course, and joining me for the first time is Mr. Braden Martin. Braden joins us, of course, from the Locked On podcast crew. Welcome tonight, Braden, and thanks very much for joining us, mate.
No worries. Nice to be here making my SNL debut. Unfortunately, not in the car, but on the commentary team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, mate, we've got a bumper crop of folks here joining us once again, which is great. Our regulars are out and about. I might even turn them up so we can hear them out there on track. Of course, bumper crop. Look, this track not popular for some reason with the Skippy driving community, but still, a lot of fun to race. For those of you who don't get out there, have a crack at it. I know it's there's one day left, but it's a lot of fun as we see Benny Simonson for Apex Racing us in the one-plated car, Apex Racing, I should say, joining us for this week. Benny loves his racing here. He's lightning fast and warming up his tyres. Of course, the two-plated car here tonight, Seb Schultz joins us once again. Great to see Seb back in the skips on a Sunday night. We always welcome him. He's lightning fast, one of the best in the world, as we love to see here each and every week. Manu Luqueta from Ivano Sim Racing Team joins us once again. Made his return last week, joins us here for the second week in a row, and looking forward to seeing Manu throughout the season. Three-plated cast. We move on to the fourth, which is Oscar Chinchilla from Iberia. Great to see Oscar back in the field as well. Used to be one of our regulars, but joins us after somewhat of an hiatus. And Julian O'Fray for Red Face Racing. He rounds out your top five seeds, Braden.
Yeah, definitely looked like they're having some fun warming up those tires on that lap. Track temperature's pretty hot already though, 45.6, so won't take long to get them up to speed.
Yeah, that's it, mate. As we take a look at some of the other folks in our field, Kawabe-san's back, Gol Kawabe from Japan. He's the six-plated car tonight. Seventh, Kike Sanchez. There's a name I haven't heard for a while. Joins us again. Car number 7. Seated 7th here tonight. Ludwig Guidi, the other Movano Racing Team member, joins us. He's the 8th seated here tonight. That I rating, of course, his secondary account still gets him the 8th plate here tonight as the first of the lap times start to drop, and we see Luqueta just pipping Lean, Corey Lean, as we'll touch on shortly, one of the ANZ drivers here tonight. Laura Samadio, last season I think he was second overall, 9th seeded here tonight, and rounding out our top 10 of seeds is the first ANZ driver here, Speedy Snails driver Sam Devantia, the Cowboy, rounding out our top 10 seeds. Braden.
Yeah, already putting in some quick times. Nice to see some familiar faces from the ANZ community back in the top split, like Ben Snell, who's currently sitting in 7th place, just about 3/10 off that Luqueta time.
Absolutely, and sporting these. Oh, I don't know how you describe that beer other than magnificent, of course. Racing for Team Milo here tonight. We've got Manuel Licata for Team Fordzilla. He made his debut with us last week, and he's back for another crack at the title. Russell Clark III, the Team Milo boss man's back in the 12th plated car. Håkon Grebstad he's actually a Speedy Snails, as you can tell by the livery. He's 13th. 14th, Tobias Ritt cracked it for another run. We saw Ben Snell before. 16. I'm looking for the 16 car. Oh, can you spot him, Braden? Oh, there we go. Alexis Tabiavico, of course, finished second last week. And our final driver, Yamato, hasn't had a crack yet tonight as their finals times start going through, mate. And Guidi's on top.
Well, almost the final driver. You did forget about Corey Lean in 18th there.
Oh, I said I'd come back to him and everything, and I forgot him. Yeah, he was doing well too. He's only been pipped for the ANZ order on the grid by Ben Snell, which of course is cracking the spot over Ben's no easy feat. That's for sure.
Absolutely. The qualifying time starting to to finalise now, and Simerson's still on top by a couple of tenths over Scholl. So it'll be interesting to see if anyone has anything they can do. But I think that might be rounding out all the places.
Yeah, it is. Look at that. We didn't even get through it all, but in terms of the 8 minutes, but we certainly got a grid here tonight for round two, season 24 Sunday Night Lights, kicking off at Sonoma. Apex Racing's Benny Simonson once again starts from pole position with a 23.2, fantastic time, followed by Seb Schultz, who was just 2 tenths behind, but that's a fair margin when you're talking this quality of racing. Ludwig Geedy for Movano Sim Racing starting out a third after his fourth place finish in the opening round. Manu Luqueta for the other Movano sim racer starting out a fourth with his teammate filling out the second row of the grid. Ben Snell, the leading ANZ driver, off the grid tonight for Team Milo out of fifth. Oscar Chinchilla, first of the Iberians, out of sixth. Julian O'Fray for Redface Racing out of seventh. Tobias Ritt out of eighth. Fifth row of the grid is Corey Lean from ANZ. Joining him is Alexis Vico, our podium sitter for last week, starting from 10th. Gal Kawabe from Japan out of 11th. And Kike Sanchez, the other Iberian, out of 12th as we go over the pace. 13th tonight, Speedy Snails driver Sam Devanti, the Cowboys, starting alongside Takumi Yamato, the other Japanese driver in the field. Manuel Licata from Italy and Team Fordzilla out of 15th tonight. 16th on the grid is Håkon Grebstad for Speedy Snails. Team Bossman for Team Milo, Russell Clark, the third out of 17th. And rounding out our grid of 18 tonight is Laura Samadio, some 1.5 seconds off the pace. Not where he was expecting to start tonight, Braden.
No, not at all. It's going to be an uphill battle from P18 for sure. But as we know, anything can happen under the Sunday Night Lights.
Absolutely, as the clock starts ticking down, just see Fred, the flag marshal, perched up on his dais there as the revs start to rise, because the red lights mean rev and the green lights mean go, as Fred vigorously waves the green flag and we get underway here for round two of Sunday Night Lights, season 24. Simerson leads the way up the hill, on the run up the hill towards turn two, this tricky undulating circuit. Not catching anyone out yet. The field seems to be fairly well strung out, 2x2 in some places, but everyone seemingly getting it right the first time round, Braden.
Yeah, so far so good. That first section, very tricky under cold tyres with the undulations, but all of these very quality drivers managed to get through unscathed so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Simonson leading the way now. He's got a tight train behind him. Chinchilla's already got past Snell. Seems to be about the biggest movement, although we're losing one down. Kike Sanchez running off in the background. And I've already lost Ritt, who's jumped to the pits as well. I'm not spotting an incident, but Ritt is out of it. And Sanchez, let's see what happened to him at that hairpin. Oh, he's just, I don't know if he's just lost the rear on exit or whether he had a bit of help there, Braden, but he's certainly out of action for the time being, right out the back of our field as we jump back up front, coming through turn 11, the final hairpin there, which is a great passing opportunity if you get it right, but watch out for those tyre barriers, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And Benny Simonson's already starting to get himself a little bit of a gap with Scholes trying to tap onto the back of him and get that draft. That's very prominent in these Skip Barber cars.
Yeah, 100%. It's not what it used to be, the old draft in the skips. It'll certainly give you a tow along. It won't necessarily get you a pass as easily as it might have done, which really now tests the drivers as they might come alongside at tracks like this, particularly into that final hairpin, rather than actually do a leapfrog, which they might have done in the past. So really testing the skill of the drivers here tonight, and that's what we come to see. Of course, the strength of field here tonight, a tick over 4,600, which would no doubt blitz and double most of the other softs this week. As we're seeing Clark, is it, and Licata. That's not how you do it. Clark and Licata coming together at the back hairpin. Why don't we see what happened there? There's action in the background as well. We just see a couple of drivers coming off now as we slow down here. Licata's lost the rear. The Fordzilla drivers lost the rear going around the first part of the hairpin, or the second, actually, the second part of it. And Clark really committed and essentially had nowhere to go. which has put a tragic end to both those guys, and certainly not what they were looking for. Just a racing incident, that one, but an unfortunate one for both of them. As we jump back at the front, Simonson's almost cleared out. We were talking about the draft. Well, it's effective to keep you towed along at about a second, and that's about the margin at the moment there, Braden.
It is, and unfortunately for the Team Milo cars, just as you were looking at that replay, Ben Snell also has gone round at the hairpin after a little bit of help, I think. So that might be something we can catch up with at some point.
Yeah, let's go see what we can see here. Coming down to the hairpin, we've got Snell. Who's behind him? It's O'Fray. And as we slow down here, see if we can't close in a bit. O'Fray's just, yeah, he hasn't managed the check up there very well. Unfortunately, in the 5-plater car of Julian O'Fray, he's better than that. That's just a mistake. That's turned Snell around, and then the 18 car of Corey Lean has just given him a little clip as well. Hopefully, he's not carrying too much damage out of that, and he can get on with the racing. But we'll jump back up the front now, and absolutely cleared out Simonson. He's now time trialling as we watch to see who essentially grabs the podium places, because that's what's left out there, Braden.
Fighting over the scraps, that's for sure at the moment. Simonson putting on a true masterclass, just clearing away from this field like it's not a 4,600 strength of field, you could say.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, hang on. Out of the pits to join in the middle of this is Russell Clark, the Team Milo boss man, doing exactly the right thing and getting right out of the way. Good job and well played, sir. Tucks in behind the lead pack there. I suppose you have to call it the lead pack. Simonson's gone. He's done a 23.3 last lap, some half a second quicker than anyone else on the track, with the exception... No, absolutely half a second quicker than anybody else in clean air. So, anyway, Clark tucked onto the back of these 4 drivers, including the 2 Movano Sim racers, looking to, as you say, mate, pick up the scraps.
Absolutely. We saw the 2 Movano cars fighting in the race just before to try and catch Simonson towards the last corner, but it looks like they're far away from that chance this time around in the main race.
Yeah, 100%. He's gone. Like I watched Simonson here last season. He streamed a few races. It was very interesting to see how he steered the Skippy around here, but cut above tonight. But the race goes on. Schultz, who looked to be struggling to hang on in the warm-up race, watching the previous one, but this time leading the way for that secondary pack ahead of the 2 Movano boys in Guidi and Luqueta, with Oscar Chinchilla, the leading Iberian here, sitting in 5th, looking to round out a top 5 finish if he can manage it. O'Fray not having suffered too much from that incident. It was Snell who really copped it. He's now battling with Corey Lean, who becomes the leading ANZ driver. Car 18, if you don't mind, sitting in 6th in the biggest race of the week. Not a bad effort, eh, Braden?
Very good. And one of the big movers, Laura Samadio, after having not the qualifying you'd like, is up 8 spots into the top 10 as well. So he's doing a great job.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like I said, I think he, from memory, finished 2nd overall in SNL last season. As you say, he qualified last. Biggest mover in the field, up 8 spots, and he's got Grebstad to play with now, the Norwegian driver, not having done many laps that I'm aware of this season. Maybe working out the ins and outs of the track in his draft and looking to push forward towards the later stages of the race when not only the tyres come up to the temp, but maybe he figures out the best way around with Yamato tucked in behind them, the 17-plated car. His Japanese counterpart, Kawabe, seems to be in clean air. A bit of an island on his own there, down in 9th. But he likes to get a top 10 finish, and he's on his way to one now as we round out lap 5 and start lap 6. Simonson now, he's gone. He's 2.5 seconds plus ahead of these guys, battling it out, led by Guidi this time around with Seb Schultz and Luqueta. Well, Schultz is really in a Movano sandwich at this stage, Braden.
He is. I was just watching on the background there and saw Guidi make a really nice move into the hairpin. And unfortunately, Schultz got held up a little bit and almost put Chinchilla into one of those tyre barriers as well. It was very close. So definitely playing for sheep stations out there at the moment.
Yeah, looks the big race of the week, and the guys get out there and they put it all on the line. And these guys run on the ragged edge, as we see each and every week, and that's why they put on such a good show. These guys that turn out, literally some of the best in the world. The time zone notwithstanding, we miss some of the US guys and some of the different time zones across Europe, but the guys that turn up are legitimately some of the best in the world. So, and to do that, you need to run on the ragged edge, and you can see the angle of these cars coming through that turn 10 there. It's and as the cones fly, and we see Lucetta go up the inside this time round of Seb Schultz, shuffling back. And what do we make of this? What are we going to see with these two Movano boys now? No, he's going to cede to Schultz for the sake of not losing the draft. Smart racing there from Lucetta this time round.
Yeah, we all know that anything can happen, and if they had gone too wide into that first section, it would have not only cost them time, but would have been very dicey.
Yeah, 100%. Benny Simonson must have got a 1x last lap, but he's legitimately 2/10 faster than anyone on the track. 22.9, only driver in the 22s at this stage. Absolutely off to the race. He's about to lap some folks. If we didn't know of the incidents prior, you'd think he'd literally be lapping them for pace. Meanwhile, in the second pack, though, we've got Geedy Skoltz now sitting in that Movano sandwich once again with Chinchilla quietly waiting his time, showing the patience required to do well in these races. With Lean now, he's pretty much on his own. He's almost dropped O'Fray. Outstanding pace from Lean there. O'Fray is no slouch in these cars, and he's got Vico tucked in behind him, and Lean's dead set dropping him.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Afray had any damage from that incident with Ben Snell either, so it's not as though there's any bent wing that's holding him up. I think it's just outright pace from Corey Lean that's dragging him away.
Yeah, absolutely. He's doing remarkably well, actually, which is great to see. Snuck into the top split as we see Schultz and Lucetta go side by side up the hill into turn one, up into turn two now with Lucetta having the inside run. Oh, and beautiful driving there from Schultz, who lifted a touch just to give Lucetta the run. But does that mean that Geedy gets away? Because Geedy's now full second clear. They'll want to get their heads down such that he doesn't get away. As we see our leader now, Benny Simonson, he's lapped the 7-plated car there of Kike Sanchez. He's starting to work his way through traffic. I can't see with a 3-second gap that he'd come back to these guys just in traffic, but stranger things have happened, mate.
Absolutely. I think that's probably why we're starting to see these guys fight for those podium places so early in the race and be happy to go too wide through that first section because I think they've given up on the chance of catching Benny.
Yeah, that sounds about right. You can battle your way and cost yourself time. Maybe have a bit of fun along the way, certainly, but you're not going to catch the leader doing that. And speaking of which, Geedy's still 1 second clear. You can just see him tailing off as we ride with Lucetta, his teammate. Geedy now, sitting that 1 second clear. Can Lucetta catch him? That's the question. Or is he riding a bit of shotgun? That's not his goal. I think he'll be trying full out, but, and he's just inside. I think he might just have his number. It's just going to be whether or not Schultz sits in behind. I think he might be content to at this stage as they're using every bit of the track around here, kicking up dust on the approach to turn 3 there, Braden.
Absolutely. The problem is they definitely don't want to invite Chinchilla into this battle too much as well because it could end up being a 3-way fight for that last podium spot. So they've got to make a decision whether they work together or try and battle it out.
Yeah, and I think that decision will come later in the race. Now, at the moment, they're working together, just trying to catch Geedy. So they've gained a couple of tenths this lap, and now well and truly in the draft. But it's interesting, we talk about a second of draft. Like if you're within a second, there's draft there. But if you split that second into halves, right? 0.5 to 1.0 is not much. You're just clinging on for dear life, right? 0.5 to 0, you're right in the fight. So at the moment, Lucetta is at 0.7 of a second. It's still grasping and grappling to genuinely get on the back of his teammate Ludwig Geedy. And this time round, he's managed to get just to that magic 0.5 mark. And that means he's absolutely in the fight from here on out.
Absolutely, and these guys are really starting to push along now. Ludwig Geedy has done a lap in the 22s as well, and Lucetta just did a 1:22.668. So very, very quick times.
Yeah, absolutely flying around here. Benny Simonson, the only one in. I suppose is he in draft at the moment? He might have had draft for that last lap round from the 14 car of Tobias Ritt, but he did a 22.8. Did do an undrafted 22 previously, but yeah, Seb Schultz with the lead of the race. Sorry, as far as fastest lap goes, with a 22.6, just 1/100th ahead of Lucetta, who is tucked in behind. Look at him flying around that corner there. You can just see the angle of the cars and the way they slip around and grip. You see the rear of the cars. They're almost counter-steering through turn 10 there this time round. Beautiful flow on this track. You'd think more people would turn up to drive it, wouldn't you, Braden, the way it looks like that? Looks like a ton of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, there certainly is a lot of counter steering and a lot of wheel work you have to do to get around this track fast. When I noticed racing earlier in the day was just how much the back wants to step out over those crests, and you really have to hold on for dear life.
Yeah, that's it. A lot of fun, but certainly when the chips are on the table here on a Sunday night, yeah, it gets the heart racing if nothing else. Meanwhile, we'll check in on Corey Lean. He has dead set cleared out from Julian O'Fray. He's 1.1 seconds. Well, it's probably unfair to Julian, if to be honest. 1.1 seconds. He's going to 10th in the last lap or so, as we see Vico all over the exit there as they come down the hill, out the back, and just missed the tyre barrier on the exit of turn 10. That's a fun ride through there, that's for sure. Kawabe-san now well and truly on that island there. 3 seconds in front, 2.5 behind in 9th position. Håkon Grebstad in a battle now with Loris Amadio. These two lapping in the mid to low 23s and having a blast, no doubt. The other Japanese driver, Yamato, not far behind, half a second, looking to get himself involved there if he can. We see Licata, Manuel Licata, he's down in 13th after that early lose of the rear. Cost him his competitive night, and unfortunately cost Russell Clark as well. Tobias Ritt, of course, has been lapped, as has Sanchez and Clark, who has dropped off that leading pack, but he's just sitting in front of some competitors behind him. I'm thinking that's either Devantier and no, although Devantier might have quit. Anyway, let's go check up the front here. We've got Simonson still cleared out by 3.5 seconds, if you don't mind. That's an outstanding drive to this point, Braden.
Yeah, he's just showing at the moment he's a class above the rest of the field, making his way through traffic, still putting more time on these guys behind him. And it'll be interesting to see who can hold on for second place. The two Movano cars have been getting closer and closer to each other in the background as I've been watching. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do in the final 5 or 6 laps that are coming up.
Yeah, the real curveball might be these lap cars that they're coming up on. No, I'm just trying to pick who it is. If I get a good shot, I will see who's up ahead of them. Anyway, we'll pick it up shortly. But you've got a very racy pack of 4 cars looking to fill 2 spots on the podium as they come into turn 11 for lap 12 of 18. And they've got a couple of lap cars to get through. What's your strategy, mate, when you come up on a lap car? Do you just wing it and hope, or do you give them a quiet little chat on the radio?
I think it's all about knowing your competitor, isn't it? I think these guys have raced together a fair bit throughout these series, so I think they would know what to expect coming up to some of these lap traffic. But you're always trying to get it at the right time so that you don't lose any time yourself, and it's even better if you can put a car between you and your competitors and hopefully drive away from them a little bit.
Yeah, that's it. And the call is it's Ritt Sanchez. Kike not making the return that he wanted. Look how quickly they've caught them. It now looks like a line of 6, but really there's only 4 of them in it. The Movano boys. Oh, as we see Lucetta. No, it was Geedy lock up there on the exit of the hairpin out the back. running down through the snaking S's sections of 8 and 9 here, and it's really, they've closed right up. No harm, no foul at this stage in terms of positions, but let's see what Luqueta does on the run down here into the one of the primary passing opportunities, if not the passing opportunity, the braking zone into 11. No look this time round, probably playing the odds as they get close to those cars in front there, Braden.
Yeah, if you're going to lock up somewhere, it's not the worst spot to lock up because it is really hard to get a passing maneuver made through those S's. And by the time you get to the end of them, you're back up to top speed then anyway. So you're then just trying to defend the run into that final hairpin. So not the worst spot to lock up if you're going to pick a spot on this track.
Yeah, that's right, mate. And that run into the final hairpin there, what a challenge, right? You've got to decide whether you're in fourth or fifth for turn 10. You've got to get the car settled and in a straight line to brake. But which line do you pick? The inside to defend, the inside to overtake, or outside vice versa? Oh, mate, the mind games are such to behold at this track once again. As these guys not really making a big dent on Ritt and Sanchez, who are lapping in the low 23s. Licata blinking out there momentarily off the timing there. But can I tell you, the top 8 cars are in the 22s for their best laps here tonight, and that's absolutely outstanding in terms of the pace around here, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, and there's Grebstad, who's only 34 thousandths off breaking into the 22s as well. So it's certainly some impressive time. Actually, Kike Sanchez is only 4 thousandths off of making it into the 22s. So there's plenty of pace all around this track.
Yeah, absolutely right, mate. And I might duck back to Grebstad. He's in a battle now with the 9 car of Amadio, who gets it done up the inside. I suspect that Grebstad will have the drive out of the corner, though, and look to battle that position as they cross the line to start lap 15 of 18 here tonight. And Grebstad will have the inside run. Very interesting to defend around the outside of the hairpin because you get the drive, and by the time you hit turn 2, here we are again undulating over the cresting turn 2, and you find yourself in front. So strategies are plenty playing out here tonight as we see now our second pack here fighting for second spot on the podium. Have they cleared? I think they might have cleared. I'm actually bending my head around trying to see if they've cleared, but that doesn't change anything with the pictures, of course. But we've got still Manu Luqueta now has taken over from his teammate. He's got the pass done at some point. We missed that one, sorry folks. But Luqueta now leading this pack. As the laps start to count down, there'll be 3 to go when they cross the line this time round.
Yeah, I did see in the background there, one of the lap cars had a bad exit through the S's and got right in the way of this, well, not leading pack, but fight for second place. And I think one of the Movano cars actually gave him a little tap. You can see a little bit of damage on the right-hand side of the 8 car's front wing. So it'd be interesting to see if that's going to cause him any trouble over these last few laps.
Yeah, that's right. The front wing, of course, is quite crucial to these cars in terms of overall speed. Yeah, a little bit of a bend on the 8 car of Ludwig Guidi's front wing. The right-hand side, driver's right there, it's just tipped up a little bit. I don't know if he's running lower suspension here or whether it was from contact. But he's back in front now. He got past his teammate as Simonson out on his own. 5.5 seconds clear, if you don't mind. Just set the fastest lap of the race in clean air with a 22.5. That's outstanding time driving and pace around here. As we jump back to our second pack here, as they come through these snaking S's at 8 and 9 on the approach to 10, and we've got Guidi leading the way and look, he's got about 4/10 there on his teammate, Sebastian Schultz. They kind of strung him out a bit with Chinchilla. These guys are pretty much line astern, and they're actually starting to string out with 2 to go. You wouldn't expect that to be the case. You'd expect this is where they'd be turning the heat up.
That's right. I think that little bit of a run-in with the lap traffic might have just put a bit of a gap between these ones, but they should pick it up with that draft pretty comfortably in this last couple of laps, you would think.
Yeah, they've got a battle on their hands to do so, particularly Schultz, I should say, who's 7/10 down to 6.5 and 6 under the braking zone into turn 2. But these guys, two Movano boys looking to make a bird of it and crack on with it. Corey Lean now, the leading ANZ driver. He didn't get away from O'Fray in the end. O'Fray managed to either claw back via draft or other means, and now there's a battle for that final top 5 position between the Frenchman and the leading ANZ driver here tonight. Car number 18, Corey Lean. Vico, last week's podium sitters, down in 8th. Kawabe is up 1 position into 9th, I think, or 2 from where he started. And Amadio, who started last of all on this grid, has a big battle now to hang on to that top 10 spot from Grebstad and Yamato. As we see Chinchilla, he's dropping like a stone. I'm trying to see what happened there. Did you pick anything up while I'm looking, mate?
I didn't. I did hear the crunch in the background though, so
yeah. Let's go see what we can pick up. I'm on board with Schultz, who went wide into the final corner. That was about it. No. Chinchilla, he's still running at that point. Trying to see why he went off for about 8 seconds. Let's go see what happened. Oh, that's not going to be it. He's had a big cut, and I can't see why. It says he went off track. There we go. We found it. He just went straight on. I don't know if he's already... Yeah, the front of his car looks to be hanging off already. The damage has already happened, but I can't tell why. Anyway, let's go back. We don't want to miss the end of the race here. Jeepers. We're on the final lap, as it turns out. We're coming down to the closing stage of Simonson, all on his own, coming to round out the final lap of the race. Geedy, he's leading from Lucetta. Lucetta will put all sorts of pressure on his teammate coming into the big passing zone at the end of the back straight into turn 11. This is where it'll be decided shortly as they kick around turn 10, right up behind us. We see Simonson going through the final hairpin. The Movano boys side by side. We said the outside could get it done, but not this time round. It's going to be Geedy from his teammate with Schultz now looking to get it done as Simonson has a celebratory blow of the engine as he crosses the line to take out an outstanding victory. Honestly, cleared him out. Corey Lean, the leading ANZ driver in P5. We've got O'Fray and Vico crossing the line now as well. As we see Kawabe, he's got up for P8. He'll be happy with that. As the stragglers start coming across the remainder of the field, Manuel Licata, that's not where he wanted to finish in his second race, and we'll just follow Chinchilla. I think he might have gone through the pits. I'm not sure, but really a bit of a mystery, if I'm honest, as to what happened to Chinchilla. Anyway, let's go check out our race results for round 2 here at Sunday Night Lights, season 24 from Sonoma. Benny Simonson, class of the field here tonight for Apex Racing. Pole cleared out. I think he might have had fastest lap in clean air, if you don't mind. Fantastic drive. Won by 4.8 seconds from Movano Sim Racing's Ludwig Geedy. And in second, and his teammate Manu Luqueta from Movano Sim Racing in third. Those two battle it out as good teammates do for those podium positions. Well done to them. P4 tonight was Sebastian Schultz, who joins us once again. Great to see him back on track. And a good finish. Corey Lean, the leading ANZ driver in P5 tonight. Julian O'Fray for Redface Racing in P6. 7th in the end was Alexis Vico from Iberia. 8th tonight was Kawabe-san from Japan. Gol Kawabe in 8th. Good points for him. Loris Amadio from Italy in 9th. Håkon Grebstad for Speedy Snails, the Norwegian driver, finishing in 10th. Takumi Yamato, second Japanese driver in here. There's no Naoya Nagai. The two Japanese drivers of Kawabe and Yamato, however, have both finished in the points. Yamato in 11th. 12th tonight, the final SNL point scoring position was Team Fordzilla's Manuel Licata. Oscar Chinchilla from Iberia, that mysterious exit for him sees him finish in 13th. Tobias Ritt is in 14th tonight. Kike Sanchez from Iberia in 15th. Russell Clark, the third for Team Milo, in 16th, as was his teammate Ben Snell in 17th. Unfortunate exit for them. And the only other retirement was the other ANZ driver here tonight for the Speedy Snails, one Sam Devantier, the cowboy, having a night he'd rather forget there, Brain.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't a great night for the large majority of the ANZ drivers, unfortunately. But we did have Corey Lean up there flying the flag very proudly up in fifth spot. So let's hope for a better showing from the rest of the ANZ boys next week with a little bit more luck.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm hoping to get. There we go. Hoping to get the grid back up again, and we might grab a camera. And we've got someone waiting for a chat. We might grab. We usually go in finishing order, and we're going to grab Mr. Oh no, hang on, wrong Sculty. I'll come back to you, mate. Hang on. I grabbed the wrong one. They're all jumping into the green room. Julian O'Fray joins us first. Julian, top six finish in the end. Looked like you had your hands full out there tonight, mate. How was your race?
Hello. Before everything else, I want to apologize for the contact with Ben Snell. I don't know what to say. I can't do anything. It was too late to react. Um, and for the race, in, I was off pace, I think, in qualification and in race. I clearly have not the pace from the front guys. Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough out there tonight by the looks, mate, and hard work. But you managed to sort of you almost got dropped by Corey, then you got back in there and had a bit of a race at the end there. But hopefully, we saw the incident with Snell, which was unfortunate. That's not who you are, and we certainly appreciate you taking the time to come and apologise, mate. That's what gentlemen do, and gentlemen races, of course, as well. So hopefully, mate, the racing will come a bit better to you to next week. But certainly good to see you out there. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go tonight?
I want to thank you every week, and I want to thank Ben too because when I apologize, he was very comprehensive, and he know I can't do anything. So yeah, I like when people react like this.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, Ben's a good fella, and he knows there was no malice in it, mate. It's an unfortunate part of racing sometimes, and that's how they go. Hopefully, we'll have a better one next week, mate. But thanks for joining us. It's always great to see you out there, Julian, and hopefully we'll see you again and speak to you in the coming weeks.
Yeah. See you next week. I hope you will be faster.
Awesome,
Bye
mate.
bye.
See you, mate. Julian O'Fray, Braden, one of the best going around, just had a rough night, unfortunately. I don't know if he was short on laps or what it was tonight, but he certainly didn't sound happy with his performance, did he?
Yeah, absolutely not. But I'm definitely not going to sit up here in the commentary box and talk about tapping the back of a Milo car from a checkup. It's definitely not my spot to be commenting after last week.
Yeah, mate, that's how it goes. These things happen, of course. But we do have, as I said, we like to go in finishing order. We have our race winner, Mr. Benny Simonson, who, mate, don't let it go to your head, but dead set in a class of your own out there tonight. Just drove away from them.
Hey guys, yeah, I think it's a bit of a obviously a bit of a locker and get away, isn't it? But I tried push really hard on the first 2-3 laps because I thought if I got to get away, it has to be on the cold tires. And I always I could see when the replay he didn't do it, but I thought maybe Ludwig's gonna be because it's hard to pass, he's gonna take the opportunity to try and go for P2 in the first lap or two. So obviously if they go side by side, and if I got a little gap by then I can get the magic 1.5 second. But obviously that wasn't the case. But yeah, bit lucky to get away. But yeah, as I said to Luke, I I don't think I could have dealt with another 18 lap of pressure like we had in the warm up. So I was quite
Yeah.
pleased with that. To be fair.
Yeah, that one we were watching that one as well, mate. That looked like a quite an intense battle, but this one, a different story entirely. Once you had that gap, you just maximise it. Great lap times in clean air too. So, bit of a time trial for you out there tonight, mate. But hopefully, a satisfying victory nonetheless. Knocked it out of the park with the quality of the field here, mate. And I watched a bit last season. Your stream, you just seem to have this place nutted, sorted out, sort of thing. You know.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite tracks. I think it suits the combo of the car and the track really well here. So obviously, when a track is fun to hot lap, you tend to spend a little bit more time on it. And I think if you go back a season or two, there was a very tough time trial battle between me and Kane Halliburton. I think we both had like 25 goes at trying to get the win on that week. And obviously, when you do that many laps trying to get the time trial record, then the place kind of sticks with you. So definitely one of the stronger ones.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what it takes to clear out by that sort of margin. 25 time trials, a significant investment of laps around here, mate. But listen, congratulations on a fantastic drive here tonight. Great to see you back in the series once again. The reigning champion, of course. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight, mate, before we let you go?
I just as usual, you guys. As I always say, thanks for putting it on. I know how it feels. So all the amount of work that goes into it's much appreciated.
Yeah, thanks, mate, and we do appreciate your support. It's great to see some of the best in the world run around each week, and it's drives like tonight and racing and you guys turning out that makes it all worthwhile. So thanks again, mate. We appreciate the support, and hopefully we'll see you in the remainder of the season.
Yeah, don't know if I'm gonna be able to make how probably it's got to be like 6 or 7 of them. Looking at the real life calendar, but let's see. But
Beautiful.
definitely next week.
Excellent. Thanks, Benny, mate. Look forward to seeing you then.
All right, see you guys.
Cheers, mate. There you go, Braden. Class of the field here tonight, Benny. Just an outstanding drive. Can't overstate. You know, to drive away from a field like this is pretty damn impressive, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I guess that shows quality of him, and also why he's the reigning champion for SNL, being able to jump in the car and turn it on like that. It was a pretty impressive and dominant performance.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I think he's champion 2, 3 times over, and when he wins this, he tends to go on and win the official series, as so many of the folks do, which is, again, part of the attraction of racing here on a Sunday night, and one of the reasons why we do it. Now, I'm going to grab P2 in the results here tonight, Mr. Ludwig Geedy, who drives for Ivana Sim Racing Team, of course. Ludwig, you look like you had a bit of a fun race with Manu there. Hopefully the gloves are off, but they certainly look like they were off in a constructive and fun way.
Yeah, exactly. We had a lot of fun. It was a great race. Shamefully, we lost the train really early in the race. But for the rest, yeah, it was a really great race. We enjoyed it. We had also a nice pre-race, which was really fun with Benny. So yeah, it's been a good weekend so far.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? You get some of the best going around out here on track, whether it be in the warm up race or the big show here on a Sunday night, and that's what keeps bringing folks back, isn't it? You know, the fun out there, and even a track like this, which doesn't seem to have the popularity of many of the tracks, I think it still has a lot of engaging elements that bring you out to race, as do the company that you're in, isn't that right?
Yeah, exactly. Especially this year. I mean, last year we had some drivers that did a few strange things, so that's why I lost a bit the passion to drive. But yeah, it's great to come back with great guys, fast guys, and as you said, this track is pretty fun to me, especially the uphill section. So yeah, it's a really fun track. You have to commit yourself to be fast, so it's a great and fun track.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. So hopefully it's got one more run next season. We get to see some of the best and brightest again next time here, mate. But anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight before we let you go?
Yeah, to you guys, to my team also, my teammate Manu. So yeah, see you next weekend.
Beautiful. Thanks, Ludwig, mate. Look forward to talking to you then.
Have a nice day, guy. Bye bye.
See you, mate. There you go, Braden. That was Ludwig Geedy. I was impressed, there's a few folk that come up, whether it be Julian, Ludwig, whose English is pretty good actually, but there's a few that come up where English is their second language. I always think they're so brave to get up and do it, mate. I don't know about you, but I'm not going to a French or a Spanish speaking commentary box and talking about my race, so full pump to them, mate.
Absolutely. Sometimes I feel like I have enough trouble speaking English when I'm on the things like this, or when I'm streaming, I get my words tongue twisted, or even when I'm doing a little bit of that podcasting. So to come and speak a second language in front of everyone, definitely a challenge.
Yeah, 100%. More pump to them. Now, we'll have our first Team Milo driver here, and young Mr. Ben Snell, who's back in the top split tonight, but it was not a happy return, mate. Julian came up and apologised for his mistake there, mate. But I think we're about to see it on camera, unfortunately, but not the return you were looking for.
Yeah, perfect. Welcome back to the top of the split. At least they made it. At least they made it in this week, so that's nice. Look, it is like you'll see now with it happening. I'm obviously a little bit delayed watching the broadcast, but Julian had nowhere to go. Like we've both come in like on the limit of breaks, and like by the time he's realised there's a checkup happening, he had nowhere to go. So no harm, no foul when it comes to that. Like he apologised, and I said, "You don't have to, man. Like you had nowhere to go really. It was his bit here when we had a bit of a netco between Corey that actually broke my car and that put me out of the race. So, well, I drove off the track afterwards in a little bit of a hissy fit, and that's what ended my race. But at that point, I knew I was out of the SNL points and trundling around at the back. So I went, I'm not feeling too crash hot at the moment, so I'll just park up and watch the broadcast and watch Benny put on an absolute clinic.
He did at that, didn't he? Yeah, look, and I have to agree with your boss, your team boss there. That's the best selfie ever in the in the broadcast
Yeah, it's pretty
overlays.
good.
Yeah, that magnificent beard of yours, mate, showing off beautifully. But look, great to see you back in the top split. Hopefully, more of it to come. Although I know you had a rough ride in the two that you did tonight, so. Hopefully we do see you back here and with some better results, mate. But anyone would like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Oh yeah, of course. Big shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast. It was good to finally get back in there for however little long I did, and it was good to actually have some pace as well at the top. So hopefully I can make it back in, and I just got to work on that I rating a little bit and get back in, and hopefully put on a strong show for the ANZ guys for other than Corey and stuff like that, and get that Milo flag right up there nice and high.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah, best way to get your I rating up is just skip a few Aussie car rounds, mate. Leave it to someone else.
Someone's got to keep you honest, mate.
Oh, please. All right, mate. Good to talk to you, and look forward to talking to you next time.
Thank you very much.
1B Snell, Team Milo's own Ben Snell. Not the run he was looking for tonight, Braden.
No, definitely not. But I do have to agree with you there. I don't think there'd be a few of us that would happily see Ben miss a few Aussie car rounds.
That's right. Leave some points. Oh, I'm about to see him exit stage. Dummy spit. Look at this up the hill. He's going to try and jump the tyre barrier unsuccessfully. I'm going to say. I've missed that before, but thankfully we've caught it. But anyway, that's that's that one. Now we've got one more person left. If I can just find the right camera here. It's not Simonson, actually. It is one Jay Skoltz. John, sorry I missed you before. I got mixed up when you popped in there, mate. How did your run go tonight? And am I guessing right in saying you're in the second split?
Yeah, I was window licking tonight, and I think you pulled me up because you thought I was the fastest squalls tonight, but no. I'm the second fastest squalls and took out the win in the window lickers.
Beautiful, mate. Plenty of points on offer there. I remember back, not to blow my own trumpet or anything, I finished second in one of the early M&Ls by spending most of the season in the second split, if I'm honest. So, mate, there's something to be said for it. What was the racing like down there tonight?
Bad. I was in a bit of an island in third place. The two up front were way faster until they tangled. And then, yeah, it just left me to Bradbury it and bring the last 2 laps home. Not quite sure what happened behind me, but yeah, as I said, I was in a bit of an island.
Yeah, right. Well, ultimately, mate, a win's a win and plenty of good points on offer there. Good I rating and championship points. So congratulations on that, mate. Dare I say the most successful Team Milo driver of the night too. So congratulations on taking out that dubious honour. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight, mate?
Mate, the Milo boys, everyone in the window lickers, thank you, boys. You kept the racing good tonight. Hopefully one day I can get back to top split, but seems like you need like 4,000 I rating nowadays. But yeah, thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. Hope to be back there soon.
Beautiful. Thanks, John. Great to see you, mate, and look forward to seeing you back on the broadcast when the time comes. Always pleasure having you, mate. Good to talk to you.
Cheers.
There you go, Braden, one of the life's gentlemen, Mr. John Scholtz, taking out the second split here tonight, and something that we'll no doubt cover in this week's edition of the news and results for the Locked On iRacing podcast, mate. But we've got a bit of news coming up as well. Yours truly featured on the Locked On iRacing podcast this week. And I think it's going to premiere shortly after tonight's SNL race. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. It should be coming up in around 15 or so minutes, I think, over on the Locked On Lads YT YouTube channel. So if you want to head over there and get some pre-Formula One viewing, you'll be able to listen to your good self, have a chat with Peter and I.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great time, folks. Really enjoyed it. Both Wilco and Braden were very kind to me, and we had a good old chat. Both mics on and mics off, which was a lot of fun. Nothing like the support of the community, both what we like to do here on a Sunday night, but what Braden and Wilco are doing over at the podcast, which is sharing the information, building up the community. It's a great thing that they do. So go check out the premiere of the episode tonight featuring yours truly over at the Locked On Lads YT. Is that right, Braden? Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's right. Locked On Lads YT. I'm just having a look at it now. It's actually 64 minutes. So you got a little bit of time to make yourself a coffee or something before you head over and have a good listen.
Beautiful. Thanks, mate. And of course, we'll be giving the results of each and every Sunday Night Lights regularly on the Wednesday episodes. So you can follow all the action throughout the season on the Locked On iRacing podcast. But that, folks, that might do us. Everything Top Split is on your screen at the moment. The Top Split Discord is where we do the broadcast from and the post-race interviews. Of course, Top Split YouTube is where you'll find this and every other MNL and SNL race broadcast archived. Our channel here is where you'll find us each and every week. Braden, while you're here, mate, where can the folks find you this week?
Yeah, so definitely check me out on the Locked On iRacing podcast. You can find that on all of your favorite podcast apps. And if you want to see me stream some races from time to time, you can head over to twitch.tv/the1D Wade. So starting to build up a little bit of community over there, which is a nice feeling.
Perfect. Nothing like getting a good group of people around you to make the racing all that more enjoyable too. So that sounds like having a good time over there. So congratulations. But thank you, Braden, for stepping in at short notice. We really do appreciate it. The chaotic one still having technical issues and unable to join us this week, of course. But you can catch him on Corey Has No Life 13 on his Twitch channel when he's around. So that might do us tonight, folks. Thank you once again for joining us both on track and off. I've been Alex McKellar, and on behalf of Braden Martin, we'll say goodnight and ciao for now.